And now, live from the Macon studios of News Talk 940 WMAC, it's Your Money.
Good morning, Middle Georgia.
I
got a bad echo here.
What? Is there a reverb? See?
Hey.
Hey.
Good morning, Middle Georgia.
Hey.
Welcome to Your Money. There we go. We are discombobulated, but we're doing good. We are Randy and Sherry Goss with the Rosenberg Financial Group, and as financial advisors, the main thing that we do is provide retirement planning and advice for our clients' investment accounts. And if you're looking for a financial advisor, please contact our office to set up your complimentary consultation. Our office number is 478-922-8100, and we have offices in Macon and Warner Robins for your convenience. And to find out more about us, visit our website at retirerelax.com, where you can read a number of special reports and listen to past radio show broadcasts. And you can sign up to receive our digital feeds, which provides great information on various subjects in short video format. We do offer complimentary consultation seminars to the community. So if you're a member of a church or a civic organization and you need a guest speaker, give us a call and we'll get you connected with Sherry.
I have one scheduled for next month.
I know
You're
excited. So excited about that. Anyway,
I love doing it.
If you'd like to call into the show today, the number is 478-742-0940. And if you don't want to be on the radio show, you can send me an email at randy@rfmoney.com, and I will cover your topic in a future broadcast. And before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone that if you want to keep up with the events happening around Macon, I encourage you to visit Macon365.com and sign up for their newsletter. They keep the site current with all sorts of fun and interesting events for adults as well as children, and there's always something going on around Macon Bib to occupy your time.
And there's so many people engaged and involved in making stuff happen downtown.
Right.
Everything from bicycle rides to runs to
pickleball,
open houses, and pickleball and burger contests. It's constant. There's concerts. There's always something, but it's a lot of fun. Anyways, are you a family caregiver? So if you are, Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregiving is sponsoring a seminar. It's happening September 12th. And if you need the information on this, just email me, Sherry, Sherri, at rfmoney.com, and I'll send you the link so that you can sign up, because you have to reserve a spot. The lady that is speaking is Mott Smith, who has been she has been educating about dementia since I moved here, but since before I moved here, 20 years. She's incredible. She's knowledgeable. She's run facilities, dementia facilities. I mean, she's dealt with so many families, and she's so amazing. And now she's working for this institute. So email me if you'd like to have the flyer and reserve your spot, because if you're dealing with a family member with dementia, it is really
it's a tough go.
Rough. It is a rough go. Anyhow, on to the markets. So the S&P 500 dropped about 2% on Tuesday due to news that China's exports fell more than expected in July from a year ago, and Moody's Investor Service has downgraded its ratings for some U.S. banks, saying that higher interest rates are eating into profitability, which, this is not a crisis. I've had a lot of people talk to me this week thinking that we're going through more bank failures. It's not bank failures. They've increased the amount of reserves that are required in the banks to keep them from having failures, and so they're just missing the mark. And so there's just work that needs to be done. Benchmark crude prices are up 20% over the last 6 weeks, driving up the cost of workers' commutes, freight haulers' trips to and from warehouses, and the production of everything from plastics and fertilizers to clothing. The gains threatened to prop up inflation, just as easing price pressures had investors betting that the Fed would soon wrap up its campaign of interest rate increases. Though the central bank's preferred inflation metric excludes volatile food and energy costs, many warn that rising oil prices will indirectly pull up costs in every corner of the economy. The Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, President Patrick Harker, said the central bank could keep rates steady at its next meeting. He believes we may be at the point where we can let the Fed's monetary policy do its job, though he doesn't expect rate cuts anytime soon. This is fascinating. This was only on the Wall Street Journal this week. UPS drivers will earn an average of $170,000 in pay and benefits at the end of a 5-year contract their union negotiated with the carrier last month to avert a strike. This is from UPS CEO Carol Tomé last week. The deal, which was reached on July 25th, will increase full-time workers' compensation to $170 from roughly $145 over 5 years. It will also boost part-time workers' salaries to at least $25.75 an hour and end mandatory overtime. By the end of the new contract, the full-time UPS delivery driver will make an average of $49 an hour, which works out to be $102,000 a year. That's salary, and that's assuming the employee works 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year. That places UPS drivers near the same pay grade as software developers, finance directors, and physicians' assistants, who all earn average salaries in the 108 to 115 range, according to Indeed.com.
Yeah, and that's why there was such an increase on online searches with for jobs with UPS and United Parcel Service in the search criteria. In total, these searches surged about 50% in the week after the new pay deal was announced, according to Bloomberg News. And U.S. full-time small package delivery drivers receive an average total compensation of $145,000 per year. That includes $0 health care premiums and up to 7 weeks of paid vacation.
That's
plus,
insane.
It is. Plus, paid time off for holidays, sick leave, and optional days. UPS also makes contributions to a defined pension plan for each employee. For the long-haul drivers, they're going to average $172,000 per year in total compensation. UPS pays an additional 95 cents per mile after 4 years, nearly double the trucking industry average. The pay is in addition to the same industry-leading health care, paid time off, vacation, holidays, sick leave, and pension contributions as all of the full-time package deliverers. So this is a big deal. If you know someone that is in need of a job or a job change, they might want to look here. So
they're hiring now.
They're hiring now, and these jobs will go fast. I mean, take a look at how many job searchers there were just for the UPS and United Parcel Service.
Go to their website and read the stories. Life-changing. Yep. So you can go to Central Georgia Tech, call the Career Service Center, and talk to a person that's going to help you with career services, and you can get your CDL free. So Randy and I were out one night back when we were still living downtown and not displaced homeowners. We went to Barefoot Tavern one night for dinner, and our server just looked so depressed. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "No." He said, "I'm working every hour I can get, and I'm dating a woman with 2 kids. How am I going to be a husband and a father to these kids when I work nights every day? I mean, I'm working all these hours. I can't be there for them." I said, "You need to call Central Georgia Tech now and talk to a career service person and have them help you, get you in a direction of a better life." And so about a month later, we're walking down the street, and he sees us, and he runs out and hugs me. And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "I'm going to go to truck driver school for free, and I already have a job lined up that I will start. I'll be making $100,000 a year working a day shift." I said, "That's what I'm talking about. There's opportunities."
But the big difference is, we've talked to a lot of people who are in that same situation that this young man was. And the difference is he took action. He took the information that he had and went and took charge. So that was very cool.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We had a question from a client this week, and the question was, should we return to the gold standard? So we did some digging, and we just want to go over some information and some pros and cons. So anyway, proponents say the gold standard self-regulates to match supply and demand. Opponents say gold does not provide price stability for a healthy economy. Prior to 1971, the United States was on various forms of gold standard where the value of the dollar was backed by gold reserves, and paper money could be redeemed for a gold upon demand. Since 1971, the United States dollar has had a fiat currency backed by the full faith and credit of our government and not backed by the value or convertible into gold. But here are some pros and cons. Pro 1. Gold retains value that has been recognized across the globe throughout history, and a gold standard self-regulates to match the supply of money to the need for it. American paper money is fiat currency that can be printed without limit and has no real value. Its value is only maintained by our full faith and credit. And gold has a real value due to its usefulness and scarcity. Humanity has recognized the value of a gold medium in exchange dating back to 550 BC when the king of Lydia, which is the modern-day Turkey, began minting gold coins. Steve Forbes, the editor-in-chief of Forbes, stated that gold remains an intrinsic value, stable value, and better than anything else. Since gold is a finite natural material, it must be mined and processed at a significant cost. It tends to be produced at levels consistent with demand. Under a gold standard, creating more currency requires obtaining more gold, which raises gold's market price and stimulates the increased mining. More gold is then used to back more money until the point when the currency levels are adequate. The price of gold levels out and the mining is scaled back accordingly. It is a self-regulating system. Under the fiat monetary system, the production of money has no natural self-regulating mechanism. Over the 179 years, the United States was on some form of gold standard or metallic standard. The economy grew at an average rate of 3.9% each year. Since 1971, under the fiat money standard, not backed by gold in any way, economic growth has averaged 2.8% per year. This lower growth rate translates into an economy that is about $8 trillion smaller than it would have been if it had remained on the gold standard, which was abandoned in 1971.
So that was the pro, and here's the con. The availability and value of gold fluctuates and does not provide the price stability necessary for a healthy economy. Under a gold standard, the supply of money would be dependent on how much gold is produced. Inflation would occur when large gold discoveries were made, and deflation would occur during periods of gold scarcity. For example, in 1848, when large gold finds were made in California, the United States suffered a monetary shock as large quantities of gold created inflation. This rise in U.S. prices caused a trade deficit as U.S. exports became overpriced in the international marketplace. And we have a phone call. Good morning. You're on with Randy and Sherry.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
We are great.
All right. I want to change the subject for just a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I enjoyed listening to y'all talk about money and finance and stuff. But these speeding tickets near these schools, what is going on? They had report that down in Houston County that 600 tickets were issued near schools. And up at Bibb County, people up here are a little concerned. But I don't know why so many people can take. I'm going to hang on and let y'all talk.
Now,
well, Randy can speak to this personally.
Let me ask you a question. Is this specifically in the school zones? I think he hung up. Anyway, what we learned...
So you went through this.
We went through it. And
on a Saturday.
We went through this. Yeah, I got a ticket in Thomaston, Georgia on a Saturday. And, I was speeding, I'll admit. But it was a Saturday, and I knew it was... There's no children running about. And it was on a 4-lane highway, no less. But what I learned since then, we had a caller several months ago that asked about this, about the automatic ticket system in the Macon-Bibb area. And what I learned was that the city's contract with an external organization, and they set up cameras, and radars, and if you're speeding through an intersection, they capture that.
Through a school zone.
Or it can be anywhere, but they can put them absolutely anywhere they want to. It's just not school zones. But school zones are predominantly where they are or have been placed. But the company that's issuing the tickets, a lot of times they're not even U.S. companies, but they have a contract with the city to put the cameras in place. Now, what's all in the contract, I don't know. But if you don't pay that ticket, I can't remember if they put points on your license or not, but they do accrue. And if you ever have to go to court or get a new car tag or anything else, they're not going to let you finish or pay your taxes. They're going to make you pay these bills before you can do any governmental transactions.
So you had to pay the ticket even though it was a Saturday in a school zone?
At that point, I didn't fight it because I knew I was speeding, and then I learned more about it, and I wish I had fought a little harder on it. But it wasn't expensive. I mean, that's probably the reason.
$10?
No, it was more than that, but it was $50 or something like that. But, they I think they said if you don't pay the ticket, then it does go to your license and it is reported. But if you do pay it, it is not reported.
But it shouldn't even be running on a Saturday.
Well, it's still. I mean, I was above the normal speed limit too.
Oh.
I was not just. I was way above the 25, but
okay,
just a little bit above the 45 or whatever it was. I think it was 55 in that area during normal days. But yeah.
Oh. Another caller. Maybe you have an experience of the speeding ticket.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm the same guy. I had another caller come. I had to go.
Oh, no problem. Did you catch what I said?
Yeah, I was listening to what you said. This is what I want to say. That when I got my ticket, I had to send the money to Atlanta.
Right.
And it was money order, your check. I'm just a little suspicious. I've heard people that work for the city said they don't even know where the money going.
That's right. And the cities get a smaller percentage than the companies do normally. And as a matter of fact, some of the largest ticket companies that are doing this for cities is in China. Go figure.
Would it make any sense?
Say what now?
It's a China-based company that is doing a lot of these radar setups. So I don't know if the ones around here are
Why can't we figure stuff out and
China.
not use China?
But I know the one that I had to pay went to just like what you're talking about. It did go to Atlanta.
It amazes me because what it is, I got a ticket in the mail. They had a picture of my car.
That's right.
On the ticket.
It's so clear too.
That's right. I mean, it's amazing. But anyway, I'm a little concerned because there need to be more. Like, for instance, what happened on one 600 people got tickets their first week. They need to be more open with people, let them know what's going on.
There is a website, and I wish I had that with me, that you can go to. You can look up Georgia ticket cameras, and you'll eventually get to it. But there's a site that tells you exactly where these cameras are posted. So I encourage you to go out and look at that because these cameras are not going to go away.
Well, here's my thing. If it's in a school zone and it's Sunday, I would assume it's not functioning, and they would turn it off. But it's not off. It stays on all the time, even if it's not even a school zone time. That's the part that I think is egregious.
Well, they're supposed to be adjusted up when it's not school times. But the thing is, if the school zone, say, is 25 miles per hour, they are authorized to turn it down to that speed, even though it's posted, say, 7:30 to 9. They're authorized to turn it down 2 hours in advance. So, I mean, that's not a fair shake, in my opinion. So, I'll see if I can dig up that show and that information and talk about it again and let people get reacquainted with that, because I don't agree with it, but I tell you, some part of me says I don't agree with it. The other part says people are driving like idiots, like I was that day, too fast, and we need to have something. We don't have enough enforcement to. I mean, have you driven in other cities? They drive so much different than they do here. We drove in Denver, and everyone used their blinker. They didn't cut you off.
They passed on the left.
I didn't hear any horns blaring. I drive around here, and people, I mean, you can drive to Atlanta. The closer you get to downtown, the faster you're required to go, it seems like. If everyone's doing 90 miles an hour. But down here even, I mean, people will just run red lights, and I mean, it's just crazy the way I see some of the drivers down here. I mean, we did driver's education back in school. Maybe that will help. Mandate.
I don't know.
I don't know
if it helped.
Anyway, I'm sorry you got a ticket, but
we'll cover this next week in more detail. That's great. Thank you for calling, and have a great day.
Okay.
Anywho,
where were you, sweetie?
Let me see. Blah blah blah. 700. From 1934 to 1970, when the U.S. was on a partial gold standard, the inflation-adjusted price of gold went from $563 to $201. This is a problem. Fluctuations like these are damaging to a gold standard economy because the value of a dollar is attached to the value of gold, and so your budget would drop like a rock. For example, a 10% increase or decrease in the value of gold would eventually result in a 10% rise or fall in the overall price level of goods across the country. The total world gold supply increases about 1.5% to 2% per year. To maintain a healthy rate of global economic growth, the nominal rate of growth in world trade should be around 6 to 6.5%. If the international gold standard were to be reintroduced, this growth rate could not be maintained.
Right. All right, let's go to point pro number 2. A gold standard would reduce the risk of economic crisis and recession while increasing income levels and decreasing unemployment rates. Now, the ability of the Federal Reserve to print fiat money and maintain easy credit by keeping interest rates low from, say, 2001 to 2006 was a significant cause of the real estate bubble, which led to the Great Recession. The response to the recession has been more of what caused it in the first place, printing money.
Good morning. You're on with Randy and Sherry.
Good morning. My favorite too.
Good morning, Robin.
This is Robin Jess from Perry, Georgia. And just weigh in just a little on their speeding as far as in Macon, Southwest High School.
Right.
I got my ticket myself for $100.
And
100.
I really was speeding too, and I didn't tried to contest it, and they sent me a photo of my vehicle, and I was doing 42 in the 25-mile zone. But they did warn you, at least they showed it, that when the school is in session, that's the key point, that if the school is in session, you can get a ticket for 10 miles over the speed limit. So if I've been doing 35, then I probably would not have gotten a ticket, but I'm doing 42. And I admit it because, like I said, the churches that I go to, Newburgh Missionary Baptist Church, is on the same street right across from Southwest High School. And I was going to a funeral, and I was on program. As a matter of fact, I was the first speaker there, being a minister, and I was trying to get there on time, and just so coincidentally, so happened, not so coincidentally, because God does not do anything by coincidence, it's by providence. And I got the ticket for speeding, and I went on and paid it. But
now, let me ask you something. Every time you see one of those machines, because they're pretty obvious, they're either on a pole or being drug around on wheels. When you see one of those, do you instinctively check your speedometer and slow down a little bit? I do.
Right, I do too, but now, like on weekdays, like on Sunday, Saturdays, and Sunday, they are not in operation. They're only in operation when the school is in session. So that's when they'll let you know that don't speed when school is in session, in particular times when school is in session too.
Like I got mine on a Saturday. School was not in session.
Right. In the case of that, they were just giving you a ticket for
being reckless.
Right.
I'll tell you what you don't want is you don't want a super speeder ticket on I-75.
How do you know that, Sherry?
I was driving to Savannah to do a seminar, and I was going to be paid $500 to go down there and do my thing.
Lost money on that deal.
And the super speeder ticket cost me more than $500 because you have to pay the county and you have to pay the city. And the guy saw me coming. I was going with the flow of traffic on I-16. I was going the same speed as everyone else, but I drive a red Honda Civic, and that guy nailed me from miles away on the other side of the road. And I thought, oh, wow, he's got somebody. And then, within minutes, he's right behind me, pulling me over. And he's like, ma'am, do you know you were speeding? And I said, I'm going with the flow of traffic. I was listening to the radio.
Bad response.
I wasn't paying attention because I was just going with everybody else, but I got picked out because of my red car. So I'm very careful anymore.
I think the combined
the red car.
Everything. Yeah, right. She's buy you a black one from now on.
No more super speeding for me.
Well, let me give you a hint as far as I know that everybody can't do this, but I never let them get behind me in the officer. As far as, because, like I said, they can't give you a ticket if they're in front of you. So,
well, the police are finally out really running radar. I mean, I've noticed it more in the last month. I-75, 247 to Warner Robins. I've noticed a lot more people out getting tickets. So, yeah, everybody needs to slow down a notch. Yeah. You're going to get pounded.
Be respectful of your fellow drivers out there. There's too many deaths on the road.
And I was driving to Macon yesterday, and I was with the flow of traffic doing 80.
Yeah.
It was the flow of traffic was doing 80, and people were passing
and that was
each
on
other.
Riverside. No, kidding.
Well, you have a good day, Robin.
Okay, no, one other thing I would like to say is that you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As far as with the credit cards, and yes, getting back with Howard when I mentioned about debit card and the credit cards, and that sometimes may be good as far as using the debit card, as far as if you using it as if when you got a bank account and you using the transaction just like a checking account.
Right.
But now what is happening and with the credit card, and this is why they're saying there's over $1 trillion that the American people are in debt, because some of them are trying to pay off a debt with a credit card, and that's only putting in more on your debt, and sometimes there may be up to 20% interest on that. So when you're paying your debt off with a credit card, you're only adding to your debt because you're just adding to your credit. Now, one of the other things that I would like to say too, as far as the people in India, these folks from India. But see, this is what the American people, I think, doing George Bush.
What's the point?
Well, the point is that they're getting all this money.
Well, that's because they work hard. They work hard. They come here and they work hard, and they buy a business and they run it well and make a lot of money. I mean, that's the American dream.
That is the American dream. But what has happened is that they're buying gold and everything and sending it to India. And
that's okay. They can do whatever they want.
Well, that's not good as far as getting all our money here in America and you sending it back over there to India.
Here's the answer. People in America need to quit laying around on unemployment and get off their butts and go buy a business and actually run something and make some money so they can have money. I mean, it's like we have way too many benefits in this country that make people just sit home and not do anything. It's pathetic. Where you got other countries where the only way they can ever have anything is to work hard. So they come here and work hard and they achieve. They're achieving faster probably than the majority of our population.
We had a guy that picked us up at the hotel the other morning before we went on a business trip, and he was from South Africa. And we were just talking to him about how he was enjoying being a taxi driver, and he has his own car and just like an Uber, you know. And he goes, "This is the American dream. I'm making more money than I ever thought I would." And
he works 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And he said, "Too many people here don't want to work hard."
That's right.
I didn't have anything in my home country, and I'm willing to work my butt off.
Yeah. So there you go. They're here.
As let's say an American citizen, I've been working here since I've been 9 years old.
Yeah, you're an outlier. I mean, there's a lot of good in what you do, and you're a hardworking man. And there's a lot of hardworking people in America. Don't get us wrong. It's just
there's a lot of people that are on too many freebies.
Yep.
And so we keep adding more free stuff. And so people don't work. They get paid to have babies. I mean, it's rotten what we've created in this culture. We've destroyed people by too many benefits. So, anyways, let's move on. Let's go to the halftime remarks, Randy.
Are we there?
Yep.
Oh,
we're already there. I can't
Robin,
believe...
thanks for calling.
Oh, we have another call?
We have a call. Good morning. You're on the air with Randy and Sherry.
Yes, this is your 23rd cousin about the car.
How are you, Mr. Goss?
I'm blessed. How y'all doing?
We're good.
Great.
I hate to follow the most intelligent person in Perry, Georgia.
He has some good points.
He has some good points, yeah. But he'll hold on for days to get to talk to the national person. But anyhow, on the speeding ticket, everybody's got one. Daughter's got two. Son got one.
Yep.
I haven't had any.
Right.
But you got a super speeder.
Well, yeah.
Her nose grew an inch when she said that.
That was the last one I had. That was so painful. I'm very careful anymore.
But these things are ridiculous. The one that Robin was talking about at Southwest High School. You get off of Rice Mill and you head down the hill down there, 25% grade. If you're at 25 miles an hour up there, and by the time you get down to school, I've already tested it, you're going over 40 miles an hour, just coasting. The one out on Skipper Road, the school's 500 and something feet from the road that they're giving tickets on. But there's a catch to all. There's a way to get around all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Wipe your tag down. No, serious business with a banana peel.
What?
And the camera will not read your tag through the potassium.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I got to try this. I'm sorry. I'm going to get a banana. I don't want to take it, but I want to try it.
Don't run 100 through there just to test it now, Randy.
I'm calling you to bail me out of jail. Okay.
Have you actually tried this?
I've got it on my tag right now, but I haven't been through there speeding on purpose.
Okay, go through there today and tell us how it goes.
Yeah. You'll have to call back in 6 months.
But, it never hurts to make another use of your banana,
I'll just get a whole bunch and...
Y'all have a blessed day.
Thanks.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was funny.
I got to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay, take care. Love y'all.
Oh, my gosh.
Have a great one.
All right.
Hey, let's
wait. We got to do the halftime show. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. And you're listening to Your Money with Randy and Sherry Goss with Rosenberg Financial Group. And if you'd like to call in today to contribute to the show, give us a call at 478-742-0940. Rosenberg Financial Group has offices in Macon and Warner Robins, and you can learn more about us by visiting our website, retireatrelax.com. We offer complimentary consultations and up an appointment is really easy. Just call our office at 478-922-8100.
So we're going to stop the gold standard thing because I feel like it's a grind, and we're already halfway through the show. We have so much else to cover.
We need to cover it. We need to finish it next week, though.
Well, I don't know. So if you'd like to read the complete article, go to Procon, PROCON.org. It's a nonpartisan website produced by Britannica, and it has a lot of pro and con, and it makes total sense as to why it's just not the perfect solution. It's just not. And so if you're interested in that, take a look at the article, Procon.org. And it's about the gold standard. So let's press on to the call last week we had from somebody about pet insurance, which was a great question because we've never bought pet insurance. I don't know anything about it. And so what I did is I went online and I found an independent agent on Vineville Avenue named Timothy O'Mahony and called him because he was listed on the website as doing pet insurance. And he used to be State Farm. He's now independent. And just a helpful, nice guy. I called, he answered the phone, and so I told him what was going on, and somebody had called. And so he said, here's the deal, pet eligibility. Cats or dogs who are 8 weeks or older are eligible, and depending on the carrier, you can insure lizards, birds, and other pets.
Lizards.
I would think there's birds that are probably really expensive. I don't know what it takes to treat a bird.
I wonder if Geico does pet insurance since they have the lizard.
They weren't listed on the website. They were, at least the pages I looked at. I don't know. So coverage option, accident and illness. So accidental injuries, including to permanent teeth, illnesses like cancer, flu, alternative medicine, behavioral therapy, congenital conditions, ingestion of a foreign object, which is pretty scary. We went through that with a boxer, our son's dog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy would eat stupid, like a pair of shoes.
He'd eat the drawers off the cabinets.
Yeah. Anesthesia, cremation, burial expenses, accidental death. So that's your accident and illness coverage option 1. Coverage option 2 includes accident, illness, and wellness benefits. So it helps to pay for, here it is. So here's the example. The older you get, he sent me some sample quotes, and it's just like us applying for life insurance. The older you get, the greater the risk and the more you'll pay. So while a 1-year-old Pomeranian may cost just $35 a month, for a full policy, a 14-year-old may cost $290 a month. So if you're interested in pet insurance, I really like this guy. He was very responsive to me and sent me all this information. Timothy O'Mahony at 478-464-0206. He is on Vineville Avenue. And if you missed it, you don't have your pen, you're driving your car, just email me, Sherry, Sherri, at rfmoney.com, and I will shoot you his information.
Fantastic. Good information. Next article is about America's aging population, shows the importance of succession planning for financial advisors and clients.
We went to a conference a week ago, and they hit on this. They pounded on this.
That was one of their main topics. And this is what, let's see. This is what allowed me to buy out us to buy out Steve Rosenberg 2 years ago, and that was because of a succession plan that we had in place for many, many years. But here's an article from Yahoo Finance on this subject. America's workforce is in the midst of a generational transition as baby boomers near retirement, and financial advisors need to plan ahead for the sake of their clients and their business, according to the financial services industry expert. The baby boomer generation comprises just over 1/5, or 21.45% of the U.S. workforce, and about 41 million from that generation are currently in the workforce, and even about 10,000 Americans reach retirement level each day. In the financial advisory industry, the average age of an advisor is low to mid-50s, but the surveys have found that less than half of the advisors have a succession plan in place. To be clear, we're talking about succession plans. Many people use continuity plans and succession plans interchangeably, but there is a difference. A continuity plan addresses issues such as death, disability, termination of a key employee, or even the destruction of physical property like the destruction of our office, and how we as a company will respond to ensure that you, our clients, continue to receive the seamless service. We test our continuity plan annually, and even if it's a tabletop exercise, we're able to walk through exactly what we would do in case of an event like that. A succession plan, on the other hand, is more about retirement. Who will be the next person in line to ensure the clients receive the same high level of care that we expect? Let's see. It's about building Right, and it's about building a plan that continues the investment relationship with the clients into future generations. It's important for financial advisors to share as much as possible about the continuity and succession plans with their clients to ensure they aren't worried about the advisor's ability to help take care of their financial needs in the future.
So this is why Randy is currently studying to get his Series 24 license. So if something happens to me, he can take over as president. I mean, I could even just go into some kind of illness or some kind of cancer or some kind of. You just always have to prepare for the worst case scenario, especially in this business, because you've got to take care of your clients.
Yep. And the aging of the U.S. workforce means there's not only more to soon-be retirees in need of financial advice, but there's also an increase in the number of roles becoming available to provide that advice. There's been a decline in the total number of active financial advisors over the last decade. For the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it shows that 333,000 financial advisors were in the business as of 2021, but recent figures put that number closer to 280. And, like Sherry said, we attended a conference and they pounded on this, but they also said that there's likely to be a lot more buyouts due to the fact that there's not as many financial advisors in the business.
So what is our plan? So we're bringing on a new financial advisor September 1. We're very excited for him to come on board. We have another who is currently studying for their securities exam who could be a follow-on to the new financial advisor joining September 1. This will allow our firm decades of continued relevance.
Yep. The bottom line is that if you're a financial advisor and you're not happy with the company that you are with, now you have lots of options.
That's right. Everybody's hiring.
That's right. And as clients, you should always inquire about your investment advisor's plans, whether it's the continuity or the succession plan. You have the right to know because you want to make sure that you have a seamless advice for as long as you want it.
So this is very interesting. So we have a Macon office that's a convenience office. We don't have support staff there. It's just me there seeing clients one day a week. Well, there's an advisory firm on the first floor, and a year ago, that advisor quit. He retired,
that's right.
And one of his guys had to step up and take over the firm. Well, at the end of the hall, where on the second floor where our office is, there's a law firm, and there were 4 partners in the firm, and a year ago one of the partners quit, and I was in the hallway talking to SBDC and one of the partners in one day, because that's where you have to go to the bathroom. They were standing there talking, and so I stopped and said hi, and he was really upset that the guy had left. And I said, you don't understand. I said, his dad owns a practice. He will take over the practice. He will be hugely successful, and probably his workload is probably easier than what y'all are doing. And so he was upset about why would he leave us and go there. I said, because it's made for him.
That's right.
I mean, he's stepping into taking over a success. So why would he not do that? But this is happening everywhere, and so there are ads everywhere. So, if you're a financial advisor and you're not happy where you are, you need to get out and start looking around because now's the time if you want something better, big time.
Yep.
Anyways, America is building chip factories. Now to find the workers. This is from The Economist. Judged by one metric, America's new industrial policy is off to a roaring start. Enticed by subsidies, companies are pouring money into semiconductor plants and electric vehicle factories as never before. With investment in manufacturing facilities running at a record high, President Joe Biden's claim that the future will again be made in America seems more credible than it once did. But the next step in the process is less certain. America is building factories, but can it find the workers to operate them? With the jobless rate near a 5-decade low, companies are already struggling to find staff, and as these factories come online, the gaps will grow even larger. The semiconductor sector is the most important test case for America's manufacturing revival. Over the past couple of decades, makers of computer chips largely left America. The country still has world-class semiconductor researchers and designers, but has been lacking a workforce that turns silicon wafers into electronic circuits at scale. Hoping to reverse that tide, the CHIPS Act, passed by Congress last year, will see America's government dole out $50 billion over the next half-decade.
And a baseline estimate from the Semiconductor Industry Association states that by 2030, America's chip sector will face a shortage of 67,000 technicians, computer scientists, and engineers, and about 1.4 million such workers throughout the wider economy. So this against the total of roughly 70,000 students who complete undergraduate degrees in the engineering in America each year, and the scale of the deficits becomes really apparent. One of the sites at the center of America's industrial ambition offers early early signs of the problem. The Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, the world's largest maker of chips, plans to invest $40 billion in 2 factories in Phoenix, Arizona, greatly boosting America's ability to craft large volumes of ultra-small semiconductors. If it is successful, it will suggest that America can reclaim the position at the cutting edge of chip production. The first of TSMC's factories was slated to start production next year, but in July it announced that the launch would be postponed until 2025 because it could not find enough workers with the expertise to install the equipment at such a high-tech facility. Mark Lee, TSMC chairman, said the company is going to be sending technicians from Taiwan to train the American staff.
Cherie Liss of Semi Foundation, a microelectronics lobbying group, says that her nightmare is investing in all of this infrastructure and then not being able to build the workforce. A report in January from the Brookings Institution said that America needs a major surge of national, state, and local actions to ensure enough workers for the chip sector. The most immediate hole, as illustrated by TSMC's trouble, is in the construction industry. The Commerce Department reckons that about 100,000 builders may be needed for the first phase of investment in semiconductor fabrication plants. The government cannot conjure such a labor force out of thin air, but it has made its subsidies contingent on companies explaining the steps they will take to recruit and train construction workers.
Yeah, and you take a look at our loft downtown Macon, Sherry. It's been under construction for just about 4 years, and we can't even get cabinets made.
Right.
How are they going to do this in a quick turn?
So when Uncle Sam throws money at something, people scramble to get their hands on the money, which ultimately enables them to build factories. The same thing could be done with educating the workforce. Provide incentives for people to get the required training. It could mean building schools or expanding existing schools to certify people for the tasks needed to build or install these highly sensitive devices. An official in the Commerce Department recently said that the government wants companies to collaborate on building up a construction workforce. Workers that are trained for one project will then be beneficial for other fabs that get built, the official said. In this respect, TSMC's plan to import Taiwanese trainers is less a bug than a feature, helping transmit knowledge to a local workforce. Once the factories are built, the next need will be technicians to operate them. Responsible for tasks such as inspecting tools and products, technicians have historically required 2 years of training at a community college or vocational school, but companies and educators have started experimenting with much shorter courses. Most eye-catching are quick start programs that promise to churn out technicians in just 10 days, offered by Maricopa Corporate College in Arizona and Portland Community College in Oregon. The Portland College, supported by Intel, an American chip maker, offers students stipends of $500 a week, and the one in Arizona guarantees its students interviews with TSMC.
Okay, that's crazy. No company is about to put candidates with just 10 days of training anywhere near these multi-million-dollar pieces of machinery.
Right. There may also soon be more in-between options. The Autumn Columbus State Community College in Ohio, where Intel is building 2 factories, will offer a first-of-its-kind 1-year program. The stated objective is for students to finish job-ready for Intel. The next rung up the work ladder are the engineers who run them. Universities located near some of the major plants under construction, including Arizona State and Ohio State, have expanded their offerings of semiconductor courses as part of degrees in engineering and physical science. The explicit aim of Purdue's lab-to-fab model is to collaborate more closely with companies. As part of a $49 million upgrade to its clean room facility, it gives students access to the sort of conditions and materials they would encounter in commercial enterprises, along with testing their determination in the head-to-toe bunny suits they must wear to keep chips free of contamination. This summer, Purdue introduced an 8-week course that included a $10,000 stipend for students funded by companies that hope to attract would-be workers before they are seduced by Silicon Valley.
Right. Now that America is trying to retake a foothold in the industry, lower tiers, relearning basic skills such as cutting wafer chips and packing them in hard plastic cases. The political imperative is to guard against excessive reliance on China. For companies, there's also a logic in diversifying supply chains and bringing manufacturing closer to the research operations.
So the welcome news for those wanting to bring about this shift is that colleges and universities are tilting in their direction. Micron Chip Camp expanded globally. In 2023, Micron Chip Camp will be offering the following locations through various... where's the rest of that article? Wait a minute. Oh, here it is, the United States. So in Georgia, there's a K-12 program. Google K-12 programs at Micron.com for CHIP camp information and registration if you want to get your kids engaged in this to see if this might be something they want to do for a living. Atlanta and Georgia have fantastic education institutions. Georgia Tech, UGA, and Emory are all offering benefits from research to scholarships to get CHIP education.
I think we're moving in the right direction, at least, with the semiconductors. And so it'll be interesting. All right. The next article is this week's iteration of Your Financial Independence Day. So it's about when to take Social Security. After the gym Wednesday night, we went to Wild Wings for dinner, and we're sitting at the bar, and we're making our shopping list for our meal prep for the next week, and just having a discussion about what we wanted to eat. And the guy to my left starts talking to me. He's retired from the base after 42 years and has a pension, and he's just kicking back and enjoying life. And he says, I'm turning 62 soon, and everyone tells you to wait to take Social Security, but I'm going to take mine as soon as I turn 62. I don't want them keeping my money that's rightfully mine. And Sherry over here hears this and asks, do you know that if you take Social Security, you're getting a permanently reduced amount? And he had never heard of this before, and he continued to say that he should just go ahead and take it anyway. So here's how it works. If he applies for Social Security at 62, his benefits is reduced by 30%.
And he doesn't need the money.
Yep. And it's actually 8% per year. That if you delay it, it increases by 8%. Now, if this doesn't matter, then go for it. But plan to live a long life. Plan on inflation to increase your expenses, and plan to need money to pay for long-term care. And as a side note, if you delay your benefits until after your age 65, you should still apply for Medicare benefits within 3 months of your 65th birthday.
If you don't,
it's
a disaster.
A big deal. If you wait longer, your Medicare, medical insurance Part B, and prescription coverage Part D will cost you more permanently.
So I met with a couple years ago, and when he retired from the base, they never signed up for Medicare as he had a base pension and insurance. 5 years later, he started having major health problems, and he went to sign up for Medicare, and he was penalized with an additional 10% premium increase for every year he delayed
Permanent.
it, which made it double the price for both of them. Yeah, permanent 50% penalty. I frequently talk with people who want to take a large sum of money out of their IRA to buy something or pay off something. Here's what they don't think about. Why did I stick this in here?
I don't know. Anyway, the standard Part B premium for 2020.
Oh, yeah. If you take a large sum of money out, it makes your monthly Medicare premiums go up.
That's
okay,
right.
Sorry, I was confused with what I'd written here. Sorry.
The standard Part B premium for 2023 is $164.90. If you're single and filed an individual tax return or married and filed joint tax return, the following chart applies to you. And I'm not going to get into it all, but you can easily find this just by going to the Medicare website. But individuals with a modified adjusted gross income of less than $79,000,
97
equal to $97,000, or a married couple with a modified gross adjusted income of $194,000 or less, you're going to pay the $164.90 that I mentioned before. And individuals with a MAGI, modified adjusted gross income above 97 up to 123 will pay $65. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but the information is there. You just need to go get it. And if you want us to send this to you, just email me at randy@rfmoney.com, and I'll get you a copy of this.
So years ago, I had a client who wanted to take $500,000 out of their IRA to buy a really nice motorhome, and they had the money. It was sitting invested by us and sitting in their account, and they have 2 pensions, 2 Social Security checks, and so they've been out shopping for motorhomes, and they think, we're just going to take the cash out. And I told them, I said, here's what's going to happen. If you take $500,000 out, that counts as ordinary income, and that's going to cause your Medicare premium to go up to $395 a month each from the low one, from whatever the cheapest one was, $164. And it'll probably stay like that for 2 years. That's what I'm hearing from people is after 1 year, they don't correct it back. They wait until you file your tax return, and then they correct it. So you're going to spend a lot of money, and they finally decided, no, I said, just take out, you have to be careful how much money you take out each year because of the not only the tax bracket that you're in, but your Medicare premium. So anyways, just be careful. So I think that was a few minutes.
7 minutes.
So do I pay taxes automatically if I inherit property? Here's another one of the most frequently asked questions that I get. An inheritance is a windfall that can absolutely help someone's financial situation, but it can make your taxes tricky. If you inherit property or assets as opposed to cash, you generally don't owe taxes until you sell those assets, and even then you may not. These capital gains taxes are then calculated using what's known as a stepped-up cost basis. So I'm going to give you an example. So my dad passed away about 10 years ago, and he had a farm, and he had a lake house. So the lake house, there are 5 of us kids, and so we moved the lake house property into our 5 names, and we put it on the market. And amazingly, it sold for over $500,000. So because of the step-up in cost basis to the date of death value, which means that when we put it on the market, that was the cost basis of that, the date of death, we each inherited $100,000 from the lake house, and we owed no taxes on it. And I'm amazed at how many people come to me with, they have no understanding of this. They think they're going to owe taxes on a house. Their mom passes away and they inherit the house. No, it gets a step up in cost basis to the date of death value. So do individual stocks in an individual account. They get the same step up in cost basis, and so you could turn around and sell those stocks and not pay a dime as long as you sold it right after the step up happened.
As long as there's no increase in the value or the sales price. That's above what you inherited it.
Now, IRAs, not so much. You don't get that. You don't get a step up in the cost basis. You have to take required distributions if you're a non-spouse beneficiary. But anyways, inheriting property, it's one of the last great deals we have in this country, that people can inherit property and sell it and not pay any taxes. And it's just amazing to me how many people don't understand this at all. Anyways, you want to say anything more about that?
No, I think we kind of covered it.
I think that pretty much.
But, you know, if you ever are in that position, give us a call. You know, everyone needs a financial advisor, and if you don't have one, you know, start with us. Give us a call at 478-922-8100.
I'll tell you the other one is people think they're going to owe taxes on life insurance, and life insurance is tax-free. Mm-hmm. You don't ever pay a tax on a life insurance policy if you're the beneficiary.
That's right.
So it's just interesting. We need to bring back more financial education in this country because people don't understand how things work. And here's the other one that I had just about 2 weeks ago. I had a woman call me. Her mother had passed away, and before she passed away, she had amassed massive medical bills. She was in the hospital. She had lots of problems. And so all of these bills are you trying to tell me something?
No.
Oh. She had all these bills from all these different doctors and specialists and all this stuff. And so she was laying out a plan to pay them off. I said, those are not your bills. Those are your mother's bills. Your mother passed away, and if there's no money for you to pay them, you don't pay them out of your own pocket because they're not your bills. And I have people consistently doing this where they think that they're liable and responsible because a collection agent will call and tell them that they are. If that is not your bill, you do not owe it with your money. Now, if there's money left in the estate...
That's the difference.
That's a different story. But you don't take your money and pay off other people's bills. That's not yours. It's kind of like your credit is your credit, their credit is their credit. And on one other point, I had a guy in my office a couple of years ago. His wife was sick, in and out of hospitals with cancer for 5 years. It was really, really rough. He went out of town after she passed away just to take a break. He comes back, and he's not had any mail. And so he calls the post office. Well, when they saw the obituary in the paper, some shyster called the post office and changed his mailing address to a, what do you call it?
A different post
P.O.
office
box.
Yeah.
A P.O. box in New York.
Yep.
And they were trying to steal his identity and her identity because now she's deceased. And so when someone in your world passes away, you need to lock down their credit.
Lock them down.
All of their credit reports, lock them down so that no one can have access. No one can ask to try to apply for credit in their name because it is a major scam.
And make sure those investment accounts get locked down. Make sure any investment accounts that the person that passed away had gets locked down by the company until the correct legal documents can be provided for the beneficiaries.
Yes. So. And the same goes for people with dementia. If you have someone in your world with dementia, you need to lock down their credit. You need to lock down their accounts.
That's
Anyways.
right. No, keep going.
No, I'm good.
No, how much time I got there, Neil?
All right. Okay.
Got anything else you want to say before I go into the closure?
Nah, I think I covered it.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to Your Money, produced by Rosenberg Financial Group. And as financial advisors, the main thing that we do is provide retirement planning and advice and manage our clients' investment accounts. And if you're looking for a financial advisor, please contact our office to set up your complimentary consultation. Our office number is 478-922-8100, and you can learn more about us by visiting our website, retirerelax.com. And if you have questions or a topic you'd like for us to cover this next week or in a future broadcast, email me at randy@rfmoney.com. And that's about it. So we look forward to seeing you next week.
Have a good one.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.